Wicked is a terrible movie, pushing a dangerous message on its viewers without them even realizing. Before I even start this, I already know I'm gonna get a lot of people bashing me for what I'm about to say, but it needs to be said, and I'm probably the only one who's gonna address it. If you have any questions, I'd definitely be happy to answer them in the comments. I already know this is gonna be controversial, so before everyone gets mad, I just want you to hear out the points I'm about to make. I'm gonna go beyond just criticizing the movie itself. This movie is one example of a larger problem in Hollywood. This movie has an agenda that almost nobody watching it is aware of, but whether you realize it or not, you are being subconsciously influenced by it. This movie is a continuation of the mind control that began back with The Wizard of Oz almost a century ago. This movie was made for a very specific reason, and it's to force you to accept a particular belief system. If you were to ask me my opinion on this movie strictly from a film critic's perspective, I mean, it's entertaining to watch, I'll give it that. The writing is pretty decent, and I actually thought Ariana Grande played her role pretty well. But I can't say I liked the movie because I hate everything about what it's trying to say. Last month, I made a video explaining how The Wizard of Oz, as innocent as you might think this little fairy tale movie is, actually caused unseen damage to our society that we still see the effects of today. This was the beginning of Hollywood's push for people to accept a repackaged form of paganism and warring against traditional religious values, creating a new medium to push pagan propaganda on children by promoting occult witchcraft and telling people that there can be such thing as good witches. Oz the Great and Powerful is a metaphorical representation of God, the one who grants requests and decides what people deserve in life. When our main characters reach him, they're shown that his power was only an illusion. The moral of the story was a message of self-empowerment, to tell the viewer that their destiny lies in their own hands and we have no need for a higher authority. Hollywood follows a religious belief called esoteric mysticism. This is an umbrella term that would include religions like Buddhism, Hinduism, and Gnosticism. As much as people like to pretend these religions are different, they all have the same goal at their core and essentially are the same thing. Mystics engage in the pursuit of forbidden knowledge and believe that the god of monotheism is an evil and tyrannical creator holding us from our divine potential. They view Satan as the hero and liberator of humanity, bringing us the forbidden knowledge that God wants to withhold from us. This is the religion of Hollywood and what they want you to accept. The Wizard of Oz invented a story template that Hollywood repackages over and over again to force you to accept its message. They take the story of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden and alter the perspective so that Eve is presented as a hero. She's viewed as a hero for liberating herself from the evil god that looked to suppress her. This is a formula that's been pushed on the masses for the last century now, and it all began with The Wizard of Oz. Now with this new prequel, Wicked, turns out it's worse, way worse, than anything I had to say about the original Wizard of Oz. Believe me when I tell you, this movie has a very intentional and dangerous message. Things have definitely changed, and this new movie just proves even further that I was right about everything I said. Even if you don't pick up on it, the filmmakers know that it's subtly affecting you. Ariana Grande admitted herself to practicing witchcraft.
Can you do a tarot card reading for me?
Oh my god, I wish I brought them.
You are a witch?
I am, indeed. The witchiest witch.
So as you can see, this isn't something I'm just making up. Both of the main actresses in this movie are messed up people both on and off screen. The wizard being a fill-in for God became more obvious than ever. There was even an instance where Elphaba says, "Oz bless you," after someone sneezes. It's extremely clear what they're trying to say, and unlike in The Wizard of Oz, he's portrayed as an actual villain in this, not just some sad old man. The film opens shortly after the witch's death to Dorothy and shows us the town celebrating in a song titled "No One Mourns the Wicked." The townspeople are singing about how good will triumph over evil and that the wicked reap what they sow. This is all an allusion to God's command in the Bible for the community to gather together and stone to death anyone practicing witchcraft. After this whole musical number, the real moral of the story is revealed. The story, moving forward, begins to try to justify Elphaba's wickedness by telling her backstory. At the end of the day, this is what this movie is about, justifying evil. For anyone who took their kids to go see this movie, this is the message they're absorbing. The second act of the movie focuses on this unraveling conspiracy about why animals in Oz are being suppressed. And to make a long story short, it all leads to Elphaba finding out that the wizard was behind it. The final act of the movie is the part I really want to focus on, because this is where the mystic undertones become really obvious. The wizard begins showing this display of the land of Oz to Elphaba and Glinda, and I find it really interesting what he has to say. He says to follow the road that he lays out, and it'll always lead you back to him. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? The wizard has this book of forbidden knowledge, our fill-in for the forbidden fruit, and Elphaba, our Eve of the story, takes the bait and achieves enlightenment through this forbidden knowledge. When she begins reading from it, the filmmakers even went so far as to have her start speaking in tongues. If this doesn't make you see the evil agenda behind this movie, I don't know what will. She then comes to the realization that the wizard has no real power and was only trying to control people by his illusion of power. This is the way mystics view the God of the Bible. They refer to him as the demiurge and believe he's a being created by an even higher power who's only posing as the creator of the universe. And you know something I find interesting too is that the wizard's henchmen are depicted as monkeys. Since atheists are convinced we're just evolved monkeys, this is essentially depicting humanity as God's mindless henchmen. And I can't forget to mention the most iconic song in the movie, Defying Gravity. This entire song is about self-liberation. I hope you guys are able to see what I'm saying about this movie. It was made for a very clear purpose, and it went under the radar for so many people. Anyway, let me know your opinion in the comments. Thanks for watching, and bye.